Hi guys, welcome to COSC102 Data Science Studio 1. My name's Mitchell Welch and I'm going to be the unit coordinator for Data Science Studio 1 this year, and this is the very first time that this unit has run. So the materials for this one are going to be built as we move through, and it's going to be an exciting unit. The first time a unit runs, it's always a little bit rocky as well, but we're going to have fun as we move through the material and start learning about data science. Now, this is just a quick video to introduce the Moodle homepage and introduce the unit content. So if you haven't already found your way through the Moodle homepage, this is a good opportunity to take a look around and have a look at some of the tools and some of the content on there. So as we start out, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here. This is the top tile in the Moodle homepage, and it has the links to all of the really useful things that you'll access all of the time. So here we can go to the unit information and assessment overview, and this takes you to a little Moodle book that has a whole bunch of really useful information about the unit. So it's got all of sort of the logistical stuff, so the learning outcomes. It's got the coordinator contacts, which is myself. If you ever have any questions about the unit, just send me an email, or you can give me a call in sort of Australian Eastern Time business hours on that phone number, and it'll find its way to me. And you've also got hiding in here, and it's also linked from the main page, a study timetable. Now, it's a tentative study timetable at this point, simply because we're going to refine these topics as we move along, because I want to be able to see the things that you find easy, the things that you find hard, and respond to that as we move through. But for the most part, this will give you an idea of the topics, and sort of just as a brief overview, we're going to start off by just doing some revision or some introduction, depending on what stage you're at in your studies, of some Python programming. We're then going to look at data representation and data visualization. And so this is done to set you up, these 2 weeks set you up for the remainder of the course, where we dig into our machine learning concepts and working with our data sets. We've got some teamwork and communication stuff there to prepare you for your studio project, where you'll be working in a team on a data analysis project. And then we finish up in the second half, just continuing on our look through data science with looking at some specific algorithms and approaches. And we finish up with some exam revision at the end there. So just jumping back to the home page, that all sits within the unit assessment and overview. We've got recordings for the unit content. So this unit's going to be presented a little bit differently from other units. Most other units use some sort of a lecture format where there's 1 or 2 lectures per week. This unit's going to be broken down into what I've called topic videos. There'll be somewhere between 4 and 6 topic videos per week. These are going to be little mini recordings that should be between about 10 and 20 minutes each. Some might be a bit longer. Some of the revision ones in the first week might be a little bit longer, but typically we'll try to keep them to that time frame, and it's so that it breaks down the content a little bit more for you. So if we scroll down, I'll come back to some of the additional material here at the top. But if we scroll down, you'll see these tiles that are nicely decorated with some stock artwork there, just to jazz up the side a little bit. You've got your unit resources tile. This just has some links to some of the software and bits and pieces that we're going to use through this unit. Most of these will be introduced in topic number 2, so I'm not going to go into a great deal of depth there, but that's just a location where we store all the links. You've got your assessments link. Now, you can't see very much in there at the moment because the assessments for this unit haven't been released yet. These will start to appear towards the end of the week as we get the first quizzes up, and assignment 1 will be up shortly. And then we start on our content tiles. So I've structured this course so that you'll move through week by week and cover content week by week. That's just to keep things really simple, so you don't need to worry about who does what, who is doing what where. You can just look at the week that you're in and cover the content that's in there. If we jump into topic number 1, you can see that the topics contain little bit of a description at the top here, and then we have this nice table that has the lists of our topics, and each topic will have resources. And so the most important thing to look at first in each of them is the recording. The recording, these will turn into hyperlinks once they're up and available, and you can either go and view the recordings in the Echo Center through Echo 365, which is UNE's video viewing software for lectures, or you can have a look at you can download the high resolution MKV file, so all of the videos will be available for high-res download as well. So I think most of them will be MKV files, but there might be a few that vary in format, but they'll all be high resolution so that you can download them and have them offline when you've got access to a good internet connection. Each of your weeks will have a topic block like this, and there'll also be a sample code directory, and this will contain all of the bits of sample code, the Jupyter notebooks and Python scripts and data sets that we review as we're moving through the unit. And these are just simply in a directory on our server, so you just jump in there and you can just download those as needed. At the bottom, you'll see the tutorial sessions block. Each week there'll be a tutorial session. In week 1, there'll be a very small, very quick tutorial session just to get your environment all set up. And it'll appear here again. There'll be some recordings to introduce the tutorial. There'll be the exercise for you to review, and there'll be some solutions either presented in files or with a recording running through those. So that's how the unit is going to run week to week, and that content will start appearing as we move through the course. There's a few other bits and pieces on the Moodle page. You've got your activities tile up here on the top left. That's where it appears for me. It might be in a slightly different place for you. There's just fast links to all of your assignments and quizzes and forums up there. My contact details are available over here on the right hand side. There's additional information such as the late assessment policy for you to review. That's linked over here in the school information tile, and you've got your calendar here that sort of has bits and pieces on that as they become available for you to review. And so that's basically all you will have access to. There's a few extra things you can see on my Moodle page because I'm the unit coordinator, so I can edit things and move things around. So have a look and explore some of those items. Other little bits and pieces before we move along. I'll quickly run through the assessment for this unit. If we jump back to the assessment overview, you can see that this unit has 4 assessment tasks. The first 2 assessment tasks will be formative individual assignments. So they will be question sets, and you'll be writing Python scripts, working through and producing either a Python script or a Jupyter notebook that answers the questions and that. And so we'll be guiding you through those either through the use of a Jupyter notebook or a Python file. Assignment 3 is the big teamwork assignment. So this is where we will group you up into small groups or pairs depending on unit numbers and how everyone ends up forming themselves up, and you'll work on a data science project. So I'll give you, I'm still working through that one, but it'll be something like you'll be given a data set and you'll be asked to perform some analysis on that, apply some machine learning algorithms, cleaning up some data and doing some visualizations, and you'll present that as a portfolio, probably using either a Jupyter notebook or a written document. And the final assignment it's a written assessment. It's not actually a computational assessment. It's a reflective report on your activities in the unit. So in particular, we'll be focusing on a reflection on your group assignment. You have a final examination. So your final examination for this unit, it's not going to be a supervised examination this trimester. Our examination centres aren't running. I'm not going to force people to use the ProctorU software for online invigilated exams because it doesn't really work very well, and it creates all kinds of problems with inequity in the unit. So I'm going to create an online examination that will be open book and unsupervised. So there won't be any need to install the ProctorU software on your machine to complete the final exam. And there'll be 5 quizzes as we move throughout. These will be really easy. They're worth 2% each. I'm not going to try to make those overwhelmingly difficult. They're just to keep you moving through the material so that you're reviewing the slides and the notes and reading along with the textbook as we move through. So other things I have on my list to talk about, assessment we've covered, COVID-19 provisions. Currently, we're still waiting for the university to make a final decision. When I say the university, I mean the senior management at the university, to make a final decision on whether COVID-19 extensions are going to be applied to trimester 2. If they are applied, you'll have access to those. But in the end, if you have any problems with getting your assessments done, whether they are related to any of the current COVID-19 restrictions or changes that the government is making, or just simply issues that you've got with work, that are unrelated, just send me through an email or give me a phone call. We'll sort through them. You're not going to be disadvantaged in this unit for having a life outside of university study. It's not how we work. If you need additional time to get things done, we will make that possible. There is some limitation in this unit in the sense that you are going to be working on a group assignment. You're going to be working on your group assignment. So you are going to have to fit in with others in that sense, but we can work around that and give extra time if need be. The assignment due dates are there to keep you on track through the unit. They're so that you're moving through the content and you don't end up in a scenario where you've got too much to cover in too short amount of time. So we're really just trying to guide you through the material to get it completed sort of within the 12 weeks that we have. So you should have plenty of time to cover the content in this unit. It's not overwhelmingly dense. The textbook for the unit is really easy to read, so you shouldn't have any problems getting through the weekly material. If you are having problems though and you think that there is too much to cover, just let me know and we can work on that and get you extra time where need be. So the last 2 points is I'm going to talk about what is in this unit and what is not in this unit. So this unit is basically an applied data science unit. So we're going to be covering a lot of techniques and approaches, but we're going to be doing it using toolkits in particular. You're going to be using Python and the scikit-learn toolkit. Also NumPy and NumPy and also matplotlib will make an appearance throughout by necessity because you need to be able to use the features in them to carry out tasks with scikit-learn. And so you'll be working with these as tools. We won't be going into a deep understanding of the algorithms that underpin them. So we're not going to be doing mathematical proofs. You're not going to be coding up the algorithms from scratch. You're going to be manipulating data sets, providing visualizations using the built-in toolkit, and then running these through pre-built libraries for machine learning tasks. So you'll be doing both supervised and unsupervised machine learning, and there'll be a range of algorithms out there. We're not going to get up to doing deep learning and TensorFlow in this unit simply because we just don't have time. This isn't meant to be an introductory experience. It's not an in-depth look at any particular algorithm, and trying to put TensorFlow and deep learning into this unit wouldn't do that topic justice. So that's going to come later on, and you'll do bits of that in your other units as you move through your computer science or data science programs. So that's really a rundown of what we intend to cover in there. It should be a really fun unit. It's not going to be, I'm not going to overburden you with heaps of material, and it's going to be presented in a fairly straightforward way. So if you have any questions or queries, jump onto the unit bulletin boards. So there's unit forums. There's one for unit news and announcements. That's the one that I write in. And the announcements that get put into there will be emailed out to everybody. There's a general discussion forum that sits up here on the head tile as well. And there's also the assessment forum that sits in the assessments tile. So if you have any questions about any assessment, just put it into the assessments one and give it a suitable subject line. Before I go, you'll see that there's a link here to the COSC102 Slack instance. Now we'll talk more about Slack in topic number 2, but basically it's a collaborative synchronous and asynchronous chat program, or chat tool, I should say, that runs online. You can sign if you choose to use that. You don't have to use it for COSC102, but you can, and it allows you to communicate with your peers and myself, and there's also some unit tutors that are going to be floating around on there as well, and we can answer questions and queries in sort of near real time. What I mean by that is when we are actually online and available, and it also allows you to collaborate with your other team members as you work through the group assignment. So go and have a look at that, and you can sign up for that if you haven't already done so. There's no absolute requirement. You can use the forums and emails to achieve the same thing. So it's really a choice, but it is a very good tool to allow you to collaborate. So that's all I've got for the introduction to COSC102. If you have any questions or queries, please send them through. Otherwise, happy coding, and I hope you have a good trimester in your studies.